And so when you were traveling like that, Donnie, then what did you try primarily stay within like a Wisconsin, Minnesota area, or was it Wisconsin, Minnesota, Iowa, or what was your traveling area?
We had a that went on for all the time I was on the band until it quit, and that was Sioux Falls and Sioux City. I think it was one of the Archer ballrooms. We played Sioux Falls on a Wednesday night, drive to Sioux City, stay overnight, then play Thursday night at the Shore Acres Ballroom in Sioux City, and then drive back from there. And lots of times, of course, the Friday night spots would have been like Ellsworth, Wisconsin, or Little Falls, or Cato Ballroom, so it was kind of a long jump on that Thursday, Friday thing.
Wow. Well, and that was back, probably a lot of two-lane roads, and there wasn't like the main highway systems like there were nowadays, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
So if you're going from New Ulm over to Sioux Falls, down to Sioux City, and then race back to play Ellsworth, Wisconsin, like at Proch's Ballroom, boy, that had to have been quite the haul. And what did you guys travel in? Like a station wagon type, or a little bus, or what was
we had a Mercury station wagon at the time, and one of these bigger Nash cars.
Okay,
they
sure.
were very compact cars, so we had 2 units.
Wow.
We kind of giggled a little bit. They had the station wagon that had a nice paint job, Dave Wagner van, and they had unit number 1 painted on there.
Okay, sure. And Donnie, like even though Babe wasn't there, you guys were still playing and recording with Columbia and Polkaland and whatnot. Did you guys really understand the magnitude of what you guys were doing, or the impact you would have on not only music at that time, but possibly for the future? Like obviously you knew Ray Dorschner and the Rainbow Valley Dutchman and Cousin Brian and Carl and the Six Band, obviously, and so many other bands. But did you guys know, or did you have a feeling that, wow, we're really doing something special here? Or did you guys just go play and didn't even think about that stuff at the time?
At the time, it was the job to do. We'd get in the bus and we'd go and not worry about anything else. And we, at times, have ups and downs with good musicians and sometimes a weak link. But there was a lot of times when I'd stand up there, play the concertina part, and we were playing like 5-6 nights a week. And I'd say to myself, my God, it sounds like one instrument that was so together, that.
Yep.
Always remember that.
It's a nice gelled unit when you can get that feeling and play. But when you're playing that often, it's pretty easy to stay that consistent, unless there's an illness or somebody happens to leave for whatever reason. Then you got to kind of train in the new person and hope to get that groove back. But wow, it sounds like a neat chemistry there. But I guess, Arnie, what can you tell us about the...
Well, first of all, my name is Arnie Chikolsky, and I live in Rice Lake, Wisconsin. I grew up near Rice Lake. I was a fan. I knew who Whoopi John was. I'd heard of the Six Fat Dutchman, and somehow I managed to get to New Ulm, KNUJ, get the radio station, and I heard this band. Yes, my God, the sound, and I heard it was the Babe Wagner band, and it just blew me away. I called it smooth power, and Babe, okay. In my hometown, we had there were a couple of ladies everybody called them Babe, and I honestly did not know if Babe was a man or a woman. So I wrote to New Ulm, Minnesota, Babe Wagner band. And it went directly to Eric's grandmother, and she answered me a very, very nice letter and explained that Babe had passed away and sent some pictures, and I got hooked.
But Eric, I'm gonna bring you back up here because obviously we're talking about your grandfather, who unfortunately you never knew or got to know. But is there anything that you would like to add on behalf of the Ellsworth Babe Wagner family to the International Polka Association at this time?
Just that I'm very honored and grateful. It's I think it's wonderful he's being inducted into the Hall of Fame, You know, unfortunately, I'm pretty much the only one left. He still does have three nieces, Mary McClellan, Jill Wagner, and Lynn Marquardt, you know, who knew them. You know, obviously they were very young. Sure. They are still around, and they're honored. And, you know, my grandmother, Florence Wagner, and my mom, Karen Wagner, they'd be, you know, very honored and proud. So.
Yeah, as they should be. You know, it's neat when you can hear some of the old recordings of the band and how it had its groove. And you know, for the Midwest guys like myself who grew up on that stuff, and Donnie, you know, you were honored to, of course, play it. And Arnie, you've been around it a lot too, where you guys were able to really experience it in the heyday. And for guys like me who wish I could have grew up in that era. And seen it.
Well, it was a wonderful time to be. Well, any time that you're a musician is wonderful, but it was very special in those days to be a musician. Sure. So much work, and it was wonderful.
Yeah, and for the IPA and people that are listening or watching, however they're going to see this, for the people that are trying to figure out Babe and where he fit into the musical scheme of things, Babe for me in the Dutchman German style would be the equivalent to like Frankie Yankovic in the Slovenian circuit. He was up there, or even Lil Wally, Eddie B, Marion Lush on the Polish side, or Happy Louie. You know, so Babe had that caliber band to play, you know, 6 nights a week for many, many years until his passing, and then his brother Swede took the band and just ran with it and kept going, you know. And
the band had an influence on so many other bands. If it wasn't for Babe Wagner, I don't think Scheid would have been in the Hall of Fame. I don't think Ray Dorschner would have been. I mean, there are some other great bands out there too that are not in the Hall, but the Wagner band influenced him, and I was very proud when I heard that he did get in.
When Babe played with the Whoopi John band, he was like, I don't know, 16 or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah, they came up with this obligato on the trio of the St. Paul Waltz. Okay. And that's a standby. It was written into the latest arrangement that the Whoopi John band played, that trombone obligato on the trio, St. Paul Waltz. Yeah, I would just like to mention that while I was on the band for the first years, Babe's wife, Florence, Eric's grandmother, of course, was co-signing the checks and running the band for the first number of years. And I'd like to just mention what a gracious lady she was, and it was a pleasure working with her.
Cool. She was wonderful, and I appreciate that very much. Yep, she'd be very proud, and you know, I heard the stories I did hear were through her and my mother, and I cherish them. But you know, like I say, talking to you, Jeff, you seem to know more of the details and that than unfortunately I do. But yeah, it's an honor, and it's been a pleasure hearing this from all of you.
Very good, very good. Well, we're going to close the interview out with that. Eric, congratulations to you and your family, and very well deserved. Sorry it took so long, but we finally got some nice recognition for your grandpa. Arnie, thanks for a lot of your hard work on this. And Donnie, man, what a pleasure. What a pleasure to talk to you. And well, you guys have a good evening.
And this is Eric. Thanks so much, all of you. I really do appreciate it. It's been a pleasure listening to some of the stories, and I just want to say thank you to all of you. I really do appreciate it.
Oh, you're very welcome. You're very welcome.